morning, student. This is your tutor for mathematics, BS, mathematics 1, 2, 3, and 4. This morning, we are basically on next year assignment, which is 2018, that is due by January 15. This time around, I've decided now to come and help you on some topics that I discovered that when you are doing it, either in the exam or in the assignment, the marks are very low. I decided to combine mathematics 1 and 2 together so we can have enough time to talk about it. I will pick some questions from mathematics 1. I will pick some questions from mathematics 2 that will help you in case you have similar thing in your assignment, so that you can use it as a template, like a guide, so you can do your next year assignment. I lay more emphasis on mathematics 1 and 2 because most of you will be doing this as the new student, so you will definitely need my guidance so that you will know how to do your assignment. The assignment, basically you must pass the assignment before you can write your exam. I'm sure you are aware about that. So the assignment covers all the units in your study guide. And I made sure, let me repeat again, I made sure that all my questions are just within your study guide. I didn't go outside your study guide to give you the assignment questions for mathematics 1 and 2 because I believe that you are just there, you are a beginner, so you must focus on your study guide. If you look at your study guide, we have up to 9 units for mathematics 1, then up to 8 units for mathematics 2. But if you look at mathematics 2, it is the continuation of mathematics 1. Where we stop in mathematics 1, that is where we start for mathematics 2. So they may look similar, but the content are a bit different. So when you look at it, we have different units there with different content, which will help you. If you look at what I'm going to present today, like what I said, from my own experience, I discovered that there are some calculations or there are some topics that when you do it in the exam or in the assignment, you always get a lower marks. I didn't come with graph paper, but I'm going to explain certain things to you about that graph paper. You could see that when I mark your assignment or I mark your examination, you are getting a lower marks. I want to explain the reason why you are getting the lower marks to you this morning concerning mathematics 1 and 2. Then again, I discover another one again that will help you. These mental calculations. When we say mental calculations, we don't want you to use calculator. And there are steps. If you look at the previous assignment I'll be giving them, I can even put 50 marks for that purpose. But hardly, only few students are getting more than 10 marks on that because they did not follow the procedure. So this morning, please, I want you to listen to me carefully. Let us go into that mental calculation. Let's go to that mental calculation. Let me give you the question. I will write the question here. The question is not on the screen, but I will write it down here. Then we can do it together. Then I will now show you where you always have your mistakes. I will now show you. Let me get the question for you. Yeah. Let me get the question for you. I will write it out here. Then we can deal with it together. This is the question. A mental calculation, this is what I gave. 3, 4, 3457 3457 plus 1346, then minus 602. This is the mental calculation. Don't forget that you guys are dealing with learners, basic 5, basic 6. So I want to teach you the way I expect you to go and teach your learners. And it is the way you want to teach your learners that I want you to write it for me in the examination. It's the way you are going to treat your learners I want you to write for me in the examination. So, if you don't follow that procedure, definitely you will not get your marks. And that is the problem I've seen that is taking your marks away. I expect you don't use calculator for this. I could remember one of my questions, something like this. I think I gave about 12 marks, which means I'm expecting 12 steps. I'm expecting 12 steps, but the moment there are some students among you that only give me the final answer, they will just write final answer, let's say it's 2,000, they will just write 2,000. I can't even give you 1 mark for that purpose. So that will now tell you that we need to follow the procedure because you are going to go and teach. You are going to go and teach learners, and we want them to understand the basic calculation without using calculator. I may take much of my time on mathematics 1 and 2 because I've realized that there is a lot of problem there. Now, let us get into it now. When you look at it, if I say use mental calculation without using calculator to give me the answer, I expect you, if you look at it now, basically when you say 3457 plus 1346 minus 602. Which one are you going to do first? If you want to teach a learner, which one do we ask the learners to do first? Is it the addition or is it the subtraction? You can't use your idea that you have to follow the concept of BODMAS. You have to follow the concept of BODMAS, which is talking about what? Addition first before subtraction. You have to follow so you will not just tell me add, you will not say 3457 plus 1346 and say step 1. No. You must write it that because I want you to explain to a basic 5 learners or basic 3 or basic 4 learners who want to understand the mental calculation. So you must be able to tell the learner which one to be added together and which one to be added later. So this is the way I want it, which will help you in the assignment. You can just make it like this. This is what we are doing. We are heading 3457 plus 1346 minus 602. The first one you are going to say, the first step, it should be add the thousands. Add the thousand. And when you say add the thousand, you look at the questions. What are the thousands? Don't forget our place value system we are talking about. Unit, test, 100, this. Don't forget. So it will help you. So you will say, that is, when I say add the thousand, we are going to have what? 3,000 plus 1,000. You can't say this is 1,000 because this is stop at 100. So when you want to tell me or you want to teach a learner, you must say the first step is add the thousands. Then when you add it together, let's say step 2 now. Step 2, don't mind my handwriting. Step 2, you will now say, now add and subtract, add and subtract, you can now say you want to add, you want to subtract. What I'm trying to say basically here is that when you want to do this thing, you first of all add this one together. So it means in the step 1, you must add first before you subtract. So you can now see that when you add it together, let's say 3, 4, 5, 7, 1, 3, 4, 6. This is 3, 0, 8, 4. This is a bit straightforward, but when you are teaching a lower learner of basic 5, basic 4, if you go this way, it might be confused. That's why we are picking the thousand first. When you pick the thousand first, you get that one separate. Then again, when you in the exam, by the time you said add the thousands, the 3,000 and the 4,000 and the 1,000, I will mark it for you here. I will give you 1 mark here. When you now tell me now that when you now add the hundreds, I will also give it to you as a step. The same thing with the tens, the same thing with the unit. But since you are able to do this, which will give you 4803, then from there you can decide to say 602. When you say 602, this is what you are going to have. It will be 1024. I know that your final answer will be 42. I know that the final answer will be 42015. But I want you to explain the steps you will take before you get to this point. And that is where I'm trying to tell you that the concept of the place value must come in. The concept of BODMAS must come in. All those ones will help you to get your steps. Like now, even when you are getting it, when you are writing the answer, you must be able to show me the step you follow to get this answer. Not just you can't just tell me 3, 4, 5, 7 plus 1, 3, 4, 6, then minus the 6, 0. That will be 4803 minus 602. Then you want to say 24201. Then you will get the answer. I will not give the full marks to you. I want to see the steps. Now let me write it down for you here. Then we can explain about it. Let me write it down for you here. The step I will expect you to follow. Let's say step 1. Add the 1,000. Step 2, add and subtract the hundreds. Like now, we can say 4,000. Okay, let's say step 3. Step 3, head and subtract the tens. Then step 4, add and subtract the unit. So when you follow these steps, you are going to get a better marks than when you just give me the final answer. And that is the area where I said, if you don't follow the steps, you will not get the marks. Let us look at step 1, where I said you deal with the 1,000, you deal with the 100, you deal with the tens, then you deal with the unit. So that is how you can write it for me in the exam, there, or in the assignment rather, that will give you the full marks. If the total mark allocated is about 15, you can even probably get the whole 15 because the steps are being followed and you should be able to explain. So by the time you do everything together, definitely you will get the answer, and the final answer will be 4201. But when you follow these steps, definitely you are coming to get this answer the way it's supposed to be. That is what I was trying to explain about it. When you look at it, you can also write this one in words just to teach the learners. It will also help you. It will also help the learner. You can also write it in words in your final answer. It is acceptable. There's no problem about that. Don't forget again, there are some questions I will ask you for the strategies. There are about 3 or 2 strategies that is in your study guide. So when I ask what are the strategy, then use for a real estimation. Please don't forget all those things. They are also part of the what can help you in case you have it in your assignment. But basically, they are all there in your study guide. So that is what I expect you to do. But there's I will say, it is not that we have a predetermined formula, but you can use your own mental idea to explain to the learners how they can use their mental without calculator to do this. That is what I am concerned about. The steps, you heard the thousands, you heard the thousands, you heard the thousands, you heard the tens, you heard the thousand, the 100, the tens, and the unit. Those are the things you have to start explaining from there. Then from there, we can now get the answer. Then you will now able to explain to your learners how they can use mental. Like now, if I say 200 plus 100, how do you explain this to a basic 5, basic 2, or basic 1? They should be able to explain what did this 0 stand for, this one stand for, it stand for, this one stand for, and how do you add them together before you can get your marks. That's what we are talking there about the mental calculation. And if you look at it very well, you will agree with me that it looks so simple, but the explanation that you are going to give to the learners is very, very important. Like what I told you, you heard the thousands. That is if you look by the question, we have 3,000 and 1,000. You heard it together. You now add and subtract the 100. to this, total saying the total as you go. Then again, 4,400, 4,700, 4,100. All those things will be a basis for you to explain what we are trying to say, because we have there under the 3, 4, 5, 7, 4 there belongs to the 100. That's what I'm trying to explain there. So I think in the assignment, you should be able to give me the steps to follow. That is when you can get your full marks. I also noticed this one as also a challenge. It's also a challenge. Difference between a bar chart, and a histogram. Histogram is like this. There's no space in between the bars. But bar chart, there will be space in between the graph. I realized that in your assignment, what you have been doing for me, a lot of students, they are getting confused difference between a bar chart and an histogram. Please, if the question says bar graph, make your drawing on your bar graph. And I forgot to come with a graph paper. I wanted to show you why I always straight about you having your bar chart on a graph paper. There's nothing there, only for the accuracies. I want to see. So please, if I don't see the accuracies, it will affect your mark for your assignment. And when the question says bar graph, please make it bar graph, make the bar separate. When the question says histogram, then you can make it in this way. When the question says a pie chart will be here, they will put in different segments. So, but for the purpose of the assignment will based on bar chart. So I will take a question now. I will take a question with you. We will do it together. What I expect you to do and why I want it to be on a graph paper. Let's do for a question here. Let's go for a question here. Look at this question. Similar thing might come out in your assignment. Let me write it here. Sport activities, the number of learners. The first sport, tennis. How many learners? 120. The other one is football. How many learners? 80. The other one is swimming. How many learners? 100. The other one is volleyball. How many learners? 30. The other one is gymnastic. How many learners? 10. So if I ask you to put this on a graph paper, if I was to put on a graph paper, then in this case you are not going to do any tally, just on a graph paper. The graph paper, something like this, then you have your y and x axis. And if you look at your graph paper there, we have some small boxes there. So the first thing you are going to do, let me not do it the way some student now did it for me in the exam. Let me do the way they did it. Here will number of learners, sport activities. So when you're supposed to be at this axis and this axis, the moment you misplace it, there will be problem for you. The graph will be upside down. The graph will be upside down. The moment you did it in that way, the graph will be upside down. When you put the sport activities here, then you put the number of learners here. Now let us look at it now. From that question, we have the highest we are having is 120. Let's make it 120. Maybe I'm making the O's. Let me make it like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, up to 120 here. The moment you turn it upside down, then we are going to have problem now. Here will now be the activities like gymnasium, football, soccer. Then it will be upside down. You won't get the accurate number of what we really want, because you put the occurrences. The co-occurrences always supposed to be at where? At the x-axis, so that it will help you when you are trying to plot your graph. But if you put it in another way, then you are going to have your graph upside down, and automatically you are going to have 0. And this is the problem a lot of students made in their previous assignment, also in their examination. So you must make sure that you follow the procedure. This is what the question that I gave you. This is what we are saying. For tennis, how many? 120. That is the occurrence. So that one should always be at the x-axis. That is, when you look at it, tennis, how many? 120. Football, how many? 80. Swimming we have 100. Then volleyball and gymnastics 30. Then gymnastics 10. These are the activities that we have. So for you now to get this thing accurately, you have to put the number of learners here. It has to be here, while the sport activities has to be x-axis here. If you do it otherwise, you are going to miss the marks. This is what I'm saying here. Let me repeat that part for you to understand. This is your graph paper. You can put here to be your x-axis or y. Now, if the number of learners is at this axis, and you put sport activities here, you are going to get it wrong. So in that wise, this is where we have our numbers up to 120, and that is where our number of the learners will appear on your y-axis. While the activities will appear on your x-axis. So in that wise, it can be like this. We can have it in this form. We'll just say sport activities. Here will be number of learners. The starting point is here. Then we are going to have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 120. But if the number of learners, the number of learners you have in your question will determine how many number will be on the y-axis here. So if the number of learners we are having is more than 120, it will continue. Then we now start. We start with what? With which activities? Let us start with tennis. Let us start with tennis. Tennis, how many do we have in tennis? 120. You come here and say, tennis, where is 120? 120 is here. You use your ruler. This is what we are saying. You make it like that. Followed by which activities? Football. Football is how many? 80. We come here. This is our 80. You say football. That's our football. The next one is what? Swimming, which is 100. Swimming is 100. Which is our 100? 100 is here. Swimming. Followed by volleyball, which is a 30. Volleyball 30 is here. Then we have a gymnastic, which is 10. 10 is here. Now you can see the way it was done now, because the number of learners was be in the normal position, then the activities also in the normal position. But in case it is otherwise, which I was trying to explain the other time, in case it is otherwise, where you make it like this, if it's like this, 10 up to 120, then you are now putting the number of learners, then activities, then you are going to have what? 10, 20, 30, 40, 120. Then you want to put your football, your tennis here. Then you now say tennis 120, then it will go this way. 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 Just something like that, which is not what I expect you to do. So for the purpose of your assignment, please make your bar chart in this form. Number of activities here, the sport activities, then number of learner, which is usually the occurrence. Because we are saying how many people play tennis, that is the occurrence, always at that side. That is what I was trying to explain. And those are the mistakes that many of you are making. If you look at, let me quickly go to this place. I want to show you something here. Yeah, this is exactly what I was trying to explain. Exactly what I was trying to explain, that if it is like this, this is how it's supposed to look like. Not this. Because the question does not ask you to do it in a horizontal way. If it's horizontal, yeah, maybe. But the question never says horizontal. I'm talking about this vertical one. So vertical bar is what I expect your assignments to be. Your assignment should not be on a horizontal. It should be on a vertical bars. When you look at this, the same thing with this example. If we do it, we are going to have it. So this is what I was trying to show you, that it is not horizontal. You have to prepare your assignment. Your assignment should be done on a vertical bar. Make sure you put the occurrence here, then the activities here. Let's do this one together. Let's see. Let's do this one together. In this one now, you will see that it's different from the one we did earlier. The one we did earlier, I've given you that is the range, the occurrences. But here now, you are the one to determine it. Either to know You will now see they are saying below are the total mark for a learner in one class, in one grade 6. The total for the test was 20 marks. 20 marks is the total for the test. Now, if the total is 20, how many people score different marks will be determined by you. We have this one. We have this one here. How many among the learners in grade 6, how many score 2? Some learners score 2, some learners score 3, some learners score 9, score 14, score 16, score 18, score 19, and some learners, they got everything correct. So in that wise now, you can use a table. You can use a table and say, how many marks is 20 marks? Then you want to say how many learners who score, how many learners score 2 is 1. How many learners score 3? How many learners score 3? We count it. 2. How many learners score 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many learners score 14? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many learners score 16? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many learners score 18? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many learners score 19? 1, 2, 3. Then 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So in a class of how many? It's a class of a learner with a grade 6. So the total mark is 20. So this is it now. How many do we have in the class now? We have 3, 8, 12, 19, 24, 24. That is plus 10, 34. So which those are the learners in the class. Now, if you want to put this on the graph, like the one we did earlier, we want to put it on a graph. If this graph is like this is your y. I always just to give you that. Now you want to plot it a graph concerning this. Where's the occurrence side and where's the activities? Now let's do in this way. If you are saying the marks, the number of learners, if you are saying marks here, then number of learners. You look at the marks. What is the highest? Is 20. Is 20. If you now put, you put the number here. Like say 1, let's say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, up to 20. If you put the marks here, how many learners score 2? How many learners score 2? You say, also here, you say 1. What I'm trying to point out for you from here is that when you want to do your graph, you name the numbers along this side, not at this side. So you can put the marks here. Then learners, then the marks. How many learners score 2? 1. How many learners score 3? How many learners score 3? We have 2, 3. How many of them? We have 2. But if you do it in this way, if you don't know where to put your numbers and the activities, you are going to have the same problem I was trying to explain to you before. So you must be able to know where to put it. Let me see if I have a graph I've done here. Yeah, you can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is an example now. This is an example. How many learners? These are the learners and the occurrence, which is the marks. This side, you can see there is a 2 here. We have 2 here. How many? 8 learners, or 7 learners, or 8 learners, called 20, something like this. So if you do it your graph properly, then your graph paper will look at this shape. But you can get it if you are not careful. If it is not properly done, you will now realize that the small part will come in this way. It will come in this way, followed by this one, followed by this. It will come in in another form, like opposite to what we're supposed to do. So when you want to plot when you want to put it on a graph paper, look at the occurrences, look at the activities. The occurrences, you know where it will be, then you know your activities will be at the S level. Then from there, you can start it and do it properly. Let's get another question that I always look at the assignment, then you always get it wrong. Let me give you one as a question here that it will help you in the assignment when you are going to do it. Okay, before then, let me quickly write it for you that will help you how you are going to do it. Like this one now, if I give like this, the sport activities, let me give you I will say on a sheet of a graph paper, draw the two axes. I was trying to tell you, starting from the near the left. This is what we meant. This is what I mean by that. After this, there is a vertical and there is a horizontal. There is a vertical and there is a horizontal. The vertical, which is this, it should be number of learners. Then the horizontal, it should be the sport activities. So when it is like this, the next thing now is you have to divide this thing. You have to divide the vertical in a way that any number given to you, it will accommodate it. Like the other time when it was 120, you must divide. That is where we need this. That is where the graph paper is very, very important. You divide it to the extent that you can use it. It will accommodate the number. Even if it is a 300, you must divide the holes up to that will take you up to 300. But in this case now is 20. You must divide it that will take you up to 20. Then the sport activities will be here. The sport activities, don't forget, you can write it from the beginning by saying tennis. You write everything out. Then you start putting the number. So those are the things we expect you. The same thing as well, the vertical axis too, you have to divide it to accommodate the activities. Then you can now start plotting your graph. Then it will be more better in that way. You divide it into 20 here, Also, you divide the vertical line into the activities, then you plot your graph. That is what we talk about in that graph. And definitely, you will need it in your assignment. It may not be like this, but there will be a question that will need you to have a vertical line, horizontal line, and put on a graph paper. Something like that will definitely be part of the exam, the assignment rather. So let's look at probably other questions that I noticed that it might be a problem to you when you are doing it. Let's look at this. Let us look at this, which is also, we discussed it before, and very also on your place value, it will help you. Like now, 452 4011 62 100 65 02. So if I'm not asking you what is the position of 4 here, that is 400 by saying 4 by 100, because this is a 100 tens unit. You multiply. So these are also very simple. If I ask you what is the position of 6 here, what is the position of 5 here, those are the things. Although many of you understand this, I don't want to go more into details, because if something like this come out in the exam, I'm sure you know what you are going to do. Like now, if you are saying 4, it will be 4 by 100 plus 5 by 10 plus 2 by 1. So 2 by 1 equals to 2, 50, then 100. So if you now had it like this, like what we did the other time, 100 plus 50 plus 2. 400. So it will come to 452, which we are talking about before. The same thing we talked in the other time when we are doing that, how to head it together, where I was talking about, we want to talk about 3, 4, 5, 7 plus 1038. Just the same thing. Then it will be 3, 4, 5, 7, 1038. We head it together. It is more than a unit. That is why we are taking some figures, something like that. That's what we are trying to explain there. So let's look for a question here again that we know that it will help you in the assignment. It will help you in the assignment. It will help you in the assignment. Let us look at this. Let us look at this together. This one, this is here. This one will help us to. Now I'm trying to take you to another one. I noticed that it will help you in the exam. In the assignment rather. In the assignment. It will help you in the assignment. Look at this figure. 7, 65 is 0, 35. 67, 89, Then let's look at this. 1,25. Now, this is what we are saying. I'm trying to say, write the amount as dollar and cent. I want you to write the amount in dollar and cent in Namibian dollar. Like a sample now. A sample, if it is 8,40, write it in dollars and cent. 8,40, then 8,40, then it will be $8, then we have 40 cents. The same thing we are saying the other one too. If you are to do it in that way, like if you are writing 7,65 in a dollar and so it will be, if it's 7,65, I want you to write in the dollar and cent. It will just be like this: 7 then and 65 cents. But the other one, if I say is 0,35, I want you to write it in a dollar and cent. Write it in a dollar and cent. Write it in a dollar and cent. That will be 0 in dollar, then 35 as a cent. So don't forget that too. Then again, lastly, on this one, let me quickly talk about this. Please, if you have a question on your assignment that go with a place value, please always answer that. Explain your answer with a diagram, please, with a diagram. Always explain with a diagram. And this is what I mean by diagram. 10 of 1,000, you make it in this way. 1,000, you make it in this way. Then 100, tens, then unit. Please, in case I now put in this way 50, 0, 0, 0. To everyone, this is a 50,000. But how do you explain this? How do you explain this? That is what I was trying to tell you. So under the unit, what is going to be? Under the tens, under the 100, under the 1,000, under the 10 of 1,000. So you must able to explain with a diagram. Explain with a diagram. So you must able to tell me, why is it increasing? Why is it increasing? Then what is the effect? Because if you look at this one now, you will say this one could be 5 by 10, 50, 10 by 50, 500, 500 by this, 5,000, 5,000 by 10, 50,000. So please take note to all these things I've told you concerning your assignment for Mathematics 1 and 2. But in case you are having much problem, or maybe you couldn't listen to this, please try to call me and you can reach me on my number. My number still remains the same thing. You call me here, or you send your email into my email here, then I will answer the question. But basically, let me now quickly round up now that the first one I did for you is that mental calculation. Mental calculation, you must be able to write it in your assignment. Why we are adding this, why we are subtracting this. If they are 1,000, why are we adding the 1,000 together before the tens, before the unit? Why are we subtracting? Why are we doing the addition before the subtraction if it's in that case? Please don't forget the graph I've told you. Remember the vertical line and the horizontal line. What's supposed to be in horizontal line, what's supposed to be in a vertical line. Then place value. Please don't forget the same thing. What's supposed to be in this value, what's supposed to be in the next value. Those are the things we must understand. And when you want to explain a place value, always explain with a diagram. What does this one stand for under this scenario, under this question? This one stand for 10, this one stand for 50, stand for 500, 5,000 and 50,000 multiplied by 10. So I will be expecting your email or SMS in case you have anything you want to ask. Thank you.